and welcome back to my channel. I am so excited to finally be sitting down and chatting with you all, probably about my most requested topic. So we're finally going to chat about what was found in my endometriosis surgery, my second one, who my amazing surgeon was, and how I'm feeling post-op. So I had my procedure or operation done in September 2022 and we're now in February 23. So it's been a few months now and so much has happened in terms of my recovery. I feel like I am finally recovered and doing really well. I've kind of got a cycle down pat, I guess, where I know what's coming for now, of course, but I feel like I'm able to predict how my body's going to feel, what I need to be aware of, and I just feel a lot more in tune with my body. Under the guidance and under the care of the surgeon that I have now, I've just learned so much more and my eyes are just so much more open, and I've just even researched more, and I just feel like I'm in a really good spot in terms of knowledge, care, and also physically and mentally. So of course, I just want to share everything I can with you guys in the hope that it may help you as well, or kind of help you on your path or journey with endometriosis. So the procedure that I had done was a hysteroscopy as well as wide excision surgery, and I cannot vocalize wide excision surgery enough. So pretty much what that is so pretty much what that is, my surgeon went into this operating room with every intention to remove not only visual disease, but anything that seemed suspicious, anything that was sort of like a problem area in terms of my symptoms and my pain. He would just went in there with the intention to explore everything and really just remove as much as he could. So in terms of the disease, we know that it can be so visual, and most surgeons go into operating rooms just to remove visual disease, and they miss so much disease that is actually discovered later in pathology. So that actually happened in my case. There was a lot of visual disease, but of course there was just suspicious areas that then later came back positive for endometriosis in the pathology. So much to touch on, so much to catch up on. Let's just pretty much start with, I guess, what my symptoms were and why I really pushed for a second surgery. So if you don't know, I had my first surgery and was diagnosed about 5 years ago now, and that was done with a different surgeon. So I sought help from another surgeon because I simply wasn't being heard by the person who did my first surgery. They pretty much kind of just shut me down in terms of saying that there was no way that the disease would have grown back. He removed it all, and why don't I look into having a second baby? Let's start more of a fertility journey than anything. And at the time where I was at, I was nowhere near ready to have a second baby after the traumatic birth and the postpartum depression and anxiety and just the way my body was feeling. I was not fit to have another baby. I was not ready physically or mentally, and I was just getting really pressured into trying for another baby, or that my fertility window is closing and I really need to prioritize that other than my pain and symptoms. And it was just a lot, and I finally got out of that situation. I found myself an amazing new surgeon who I am so grateful for, and I have learnt so much from him. Not only do I feel like I have my life back, but just how much knowledge that I am able to gain from just talking to him. I just felt like we connected and knew each other just on a different sort of patient care level. He honestly was just a kind human, and sometimes medical professionals lack that aspect, and I completely understand why they go through so much, but just to be spoken to like a human and not just like a patient was huge to me. The way he got to know my family, and it wasn't just caring for me, it was caring for my family and making sure they understood everything, making sure they were across everything. And yeah, I just think he was just exceptional, and he is exceptional. And oh my, I do this every time I get emotional, and I'm gonna try not to because I haven't even said his name yet. But yeah, I think it was just such a game changer. So in terms of, okay, let's get back on track besides me getting too emotional. So in terms of what led me to a second surgery is I was beginning to get frequent pain. And that was something I haven't really struggled with in the past. It was more so just pain around my period. Postpartum, things just kind of took off really quickly in terms of my symptoms. They just kept progressing really quickly, and it was the really intense abdominal bloating, and it was like bloating I've never had before. I've always kind of suffered with bloating, but this was like really large, really intense, very uncomfortable, rock hard. It was the swelling in my body, the heat, the rashes, the pelvic pain, the abdominal pain, the lower back pain, struggling to drive, like moving my leg from the accelerator to the brake would send pain all through my pelvic region. It was the painful bowel movements and the large amounts of rectal bleeding, and it was just becoming never ending, and there was no explanation for any of it from any sort of other medical professional. I was advised to get another colonoscopy. I got that done. Everything was clear. So it really came down to endometriosis. So I sought help, like I said, from a new surgeon, and I'm so glad I did. So in terms of the findings, let's kind of dive into that a little bit. So with the findings for myself, a lot of people were expecting bowel endometriosis, which I'm not going to lie, so was I. I didn't have endometriosis on my bowel, but there was a bowel surgeon present as well, just in case, just because of how intense my bowel symptoms were. So what was found? I've got my like medical notes. I've even got some photos. I've got a video. But yeah, let me talk a little bit about what was actually found. Okay, so I have my surgical notes. So please bear with me as I try and pronounce them because I am not very good at pronouncing medical terms, but I'm going to try my best. Now, these were pretty much like the key areas that I'm going to talk about. There was obviously lots of endometriosis found or discovered, but these were like the key areas that more importantly link to my pain and specific symptoms. As I said before, I was presenting with a lot of bowel symptoms, but no endometriosis was found on my bowel. So where it was found, the left uteral sacral. So what that is pretty much, it's a connective tissue that supports the uterus, and it pretty much starts from like the base of the uterus all the way to the lower spine. So I had endometriosis found there, as well as my pouch of Douglas, which I think is really, those two connected are going to really explain a lot of the rectal bleeding as well as the painful bowel movements, and I guess any other symptoms, but more importantly, those more bowel related sort of symptoms. They can show symptoms like that when you have endometriosis in these areas and not necessarily the bowel or the rectum. Okay, so let's talk about this left uteral sacral for a minute. So there are two uteral sacrals, a right and a left. Now, pretty much what it is, your rectum travels down through the two ligaments, and it connects to Uranus. So I'm going to go with that was a main sort of rectal bleeding red alarm, as well as, yeah, the pouch of Douglas, but it was like I said, found in that left uteral sacral, in those ligaments. So that kind of answered a lot of my questions. And I was also diagnosed with stage 4 endometriosis. So I was originally in my first surgery a stage 2. So I have progressed to a stage 4. Now, staging I'm going to be really transparent about staging. It really doesn't mean too much in terms of pain and symptoms. Someone with a stage 4 diagnosis can have no pain or symptoms at all. Someone with a stage 1 diagnosis could have so much pain and symptoms and suffer so much. So they're really just, it has nothing to do with pain or symptoms. It really just has to do with the areas that the endometriosis is found, and I guess how deep they are and things like that. So yeah, it's got nothing to do with pain or symptoms. So I think that's really important to vocalize and get across and be transparent about as well. But I know a lot of people did have questions about my staging. So yes, stage 4 warrior over here. Something else that I guess I really want to touch on is how I'm feeling now. I am feeling fantastic. I've kind of found my feet now post-surgery. Like I said, feel a lot more in tune with my body this time around, and I kind of see things clearer in terms of my pain and symptoms, where we're at. So I do still struggle with pain on my first and second day of my period, but it is getting better each cycle. So I have all my fingers and my toes crossed, but I also cannot express how incredibly happy I am with that result, even if that is my new normal. Still experiencing pain on my first and second day, because like I said before, I was experiencing pain every week, almost every day sometimes. So it's a huge accomplishment, as I have already discussed in a lot of my other vlogs as well. In terms of my bloating, I don't really suffer from that really chronic bloating anymore. I still bloat a little bit from time to time, but I feel like bloating in little bits, and it could be caused by food and things like that, is quite okay. I feel content and okay with that. I'm not waking up every day with bloating so large that I don't know what clothes I'm going to fit into. I've of course still have all my Endobelly friendly clothing, because I feel like I just feel comfortable in that now, and you just never know. So I'm always ready to go with endo friendly clothing. But yeah, that's just such a huge change with my bloating, my fatigue. Like I've expressed before, I feel so much more energetic. I just feel brighter. I feel lighter. I really do feel like a different person. So yeah, that is kind of where I'm at post-op. I know this can change at any minute. I know, like, I know this disease very well, but at the moment where I'm at, I'm just really happy. In terms of my pain on day 1 and 2 of my period, it is pelvic pain, a bit of abdominal pain, but still not a lot of bloating. So yeah, more so the pain side of things. I do get quite a lot of pain on day 1 and 2, but then by day 3, I feel like I forget that I even have my period. Of course, I do still bleed, and I do still bleed quite heavy, but in terms of the pain aspect, it's non-existent, and that's just me being completely honest and again transparent. So yeah, my TENS machine does me wonders on day 1 and 2, as well as medication. I still do take medication, and I do still take supplements, and I do still watch what I eat and how I eat. So yeah, there are still lifestyle changes that I have implemented, but yeah, I am honestly so incredibly grateful and amazed by these results the second time around, and I am just really looking forward to continuing my journey with my surgeon and specialist. Of course, we do, it's no secret that we would love to try for another baby. So my specialist will be working alongside us as well in terms of the fertility side of things. And hopefully one day delivering our baby. I think it's time to just finally talk about who my amazing surgeon is. Am I gonna cry? I feel like I'm gonna cry. Stop. Okay, so my amazing surgeon, he is based in Sydney, Australia, and his name is Dr. David Kowalski, and I feel like so many of you will already know that name, whether you have seen him before or just heard really good things about him. I honestly am so incredibly impressed and in awe of this man, and yeah, I really do owe him so much. And wow, okay, I'm welling up. He has well and truly changed my life, so I owe a big thank you. And oh, do I have tissues in here? 1 minute. I don't know if he'll watch this. But Dr. David, if you are, yeah, just a really big thank you, and I owe you so much. I could not recommend a surgeon more. So of course that is my personal experience, and I can only go and judge by my own personal experiences. So that's me. Oh my gosh, I feel like I have a weight lifted off my chest or off my shoulders, because I have wanted to openly speak about Dr. David for so long now. But after my surgery, we kind of discussed, and he said, look, please give it at least, oh gosh, I'm gonna cry again. He said, please give it at least 3 to 4 months. I need you to recover, and I need you to be good and healthy and just right before you speak about anything. So yeah, I'm so glad that I can finally speak all things Dr. David Kowalski. And yeah, just finally just let you guys in a little bit more to such a special moment in my life, though it is, you know, recovery is extremely tough, and it really does take months to recover. I know everyone's different, but it really has taken me months to recover, and I feel like I am still learning so much about my body, and every day I am finding that I am capable of something new, something different that I wasn't before. So I really am just excited. I'm excited for life again. So thank you, Dr. David. I am gonna, I think, close this video off here, because I will probably just keep crying. But of course, please like, comment, share, you know the drill. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to drop them below or DM me on Instagram. I really do my best to try and get back to DMs on Instagram. So I'm really sorry if I have not responded to you if you have reached out on Instagram, but I really do try my best. Same with comments. I really do try my best. So if I do see any, I will do my best to answer them. But it really is a great community platform, I guess, to start conversation. And I know a lot of you to chat to each other in the comments and things. And I really do love that. I love this community wholeheartedly. And thank you for allowing me to be a part of your journey somehow. And thank you for coming along on my journey. So, mwah, I'm signing off. I hope you are all having a pain-free day, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye.